I've tried a little bit of everything, so I do apologize if I can't I can't get the lighting just right, but appreciate you that are getting on already. And so sorry about last week. Between me and Drew's schedule, it didn't really work out good for me. I was having a rough week, and he was still kind of doing some R&R after the Kayak Adventure Series event down in Florida. So we decided just to kind of put it off till this week. So I hope that you that was going to join last week comes in tonight, because I'm excited to hear about the series. I know there's been already some other announcements about it and how good it was and that stuff, but I want to hear it from him. Drew's been always good about being on the show. He's one of my first guests ever about 2 years ago. This is our third season. He's always been good about coming on, and I sure appreciate him. And I'm going to get a few announcements out of the way. The Big Bass 250 out at the Lake of Ozarks. I went last year. It was phenomenal. If you can get out there, you need to go. They give away, Eco Fishing give away $70,000 worth of merchandise last year. It was unbelievable. I actually won a kayak there, which was pretty awesome. But it was a great event. They put on a good event out there. So you need to mark that down for October the 25th, 2025. So if you can get out there, you need to go. Also, too, first event of the TKS Team Kayak Series was this last weekend at Lake Murray. I got to partake in that. Me and my partner, we got 19th. So it was pretty good for us. I had a real rough time. I hate to say it. I only caught six good, qualifying fish for the tournament. A little bit of cold front come in, but it was a great tournament. Gene Jensen and Mr. Mike Musgrove did a great job with the tournament. And also tonight, before we get off here, stay tuned. We had 2 weeks ago, we had Mr. Chad Flair from Council Bluff Prank Baits, and he will. We're going to do a giveaway right here at the end of the show. He's giving 3 of his on top of the water poppers away, so stay tuned for that, and we'll give them away at the end. So stay tuned on that. But without further ado, I ain't going to take much time, but we're going to bring Drew in. I know he's a busy man, and Drew, I sure appreciate you taking time to come on and be with us.
Hey, man, absolutely. Anytime. I know you just told the audience how I was one of your first guests, and you haven't been doing this a long time, but, once upon a time, I first started, the kayak fishing thing, right? And you got to start somewhere. And I never will forget, how hard it is in the beginning. I'll never forget that. So I always want to take every opportunity I can to help anybody, no matter how big their show is, or if they're just starting, or I can't really talk about it too much, but I'll be on a pretty big show tomorrow. It's guys have been doing this a lot longer, and could be where you are one of these days in the future if you keep at it. So wanted to encourage you, buddy.
Well, I sure appreciate it. Like I said, this third year has been awesome. One thing I think I realized since I've been doing the show, I kind of played with it the first couple of years. I've done it. I promised everybody I was going to do 52 shows this year, and I've held to it till last week. And we've been two or 300, views on YouTube after on my channel. So it's been great. I sure appreciate everybody that's listening. And all you guests that's been coming on, I've had a lot of good guests, and they've all been great and helping out with giveaways and, sending them to my channel and all that stuff. So I sure appreciate it. Yeah, I do. So.
Awesome.
And, I think you and John Dalton have the most views ever on the show. So I appreciate that. So
there we go. All right. We'll keep adding those on. I want to keep increasing my lead if I have a lead. I don't know if I have one or not over John Dalton. So John, I'm on tonight to keep increasing my lead, bud.
Yeah. John's been on twice, and I hate to say it. He actually has the most views ever.
He's got a lot, dude. If he streams to his channel too, he's got so many followers on his channel. It's tough to beat that guy when it comes to, followers on YouTube. Not many people have more than him, that's for sure.
That's it, boy. He's got a good following, I'll tell you that. So
for sure.
So course, I've been going through what I could today after I got off work and got to the hotel. Been going through all the stats. It looks like you had a pretty good turnout in Florida. Um, and and I've got a few questions to ask you kind of when we go through it, just kind of how you feel, how things are going, all that. But I'll let you kind of take it away and kind of give your first little introduction of how you think the think it was called the Ocalapalooza, I think is how you call it, right?
Ocalapalooza, you got it, man. Last year we kicked off a Shoalipalooza, and this year it was Ocalapalooza. And, you know, it was a good turnout. We had 89 total registrations and about 70, I think around 70 unique anglers because we have multiple divisions and not everyone fishes in the same one. So you kind of, but that's not bad. I mean, first time going to an area, again, it's always interesting because we pick areas that are not like these known, you know, quantities or entities, I should say, in the fishing industry, fishing world. So we're never really we're not going to go to like Lake Gunnersville or Chickamauga or Lake Fork, or that's just not really what we do. We want people to explore and adventure and just find the joy in that. It's not just about, oh, I'm only going to fish this tournament because it's in my backyard and I know I'm going to have the best chance to win money, and it's all about money. That's not, you know, life's a lot more than that, right? And the Kayak Adventure Series is really about promoting that. It's about exploring and adventuring, creating new memories with friends and fellowship. And that's what I love about kayak fishing the most, is actually going and exploring new water. I mean, it's the same water is boring to me. So anyway, Ocalapalooza was a good event for that, and a good turnout, and some giant fish were caught. You know, we had a 25, really 25 and a quarter, and then a 25 and a half. We had a 26 get caught the week after. Robert Weichert caught a 26 the week after the event. You know, he's still down there, and it was giant fish. And of course I can even present these. You might have to like share it on the screen, but I've got pictures of his fish if you want to see them. It was an awesome event. We had fun, caught tons of huge fish, and I think we might have exposed a new kayak fishing sort of area. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
right.
It's crazy not to go there with the size of fish that are in this area. Orange Lake is the number one lake according to Bassmaster magazine in the whole Southeast, and it proved it. But surprisingly, it wasn't just Orange Lake that had the biggest fish, including this one here. If it'll come up, you can add it to the stream, that Robert Weichert caught after the event. So there was an issue with the file for some reason. So I don't know. It may not come up, but either way, I can also share my screen and skim through the like our wrap-up article. So give me a second. I'm gonna pull that in for you. Here we
Drew,
go.
can you hear me okay?
I got you. You got me?
Yeah, it's breaking up just a little bit. I didn't know if it was me or you, so I don't know.
Maybe the people in the comments can tell us if it's me or you. But let's see. All right, yeah, you got that on the screen?
Yep, I do. I'm sharing it.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's see if anyone in the comments can tell us if they're hearing me okay. But yeah, so you can see on the homepage, I do want to shout out this first one here, this Ocalapalooza's top lures. You guys can click on this article, and it's just got posted today by Marty Hughes. He wrote it. Yep. You can see 6 hours ago. And the anglers at the Ocalapalooza tournament did an incredible job getting great pictures of their baits for us and telling the story of their lures and even some of the rod and reel setups. There's our winner, Daryl Harrison, and he's got a KastKing reel there, which KastKing just got a new sponsor for Kayak Adventure Series, and myself just announced that at this last tournament. So that was pretty cool. He used the Speed Demon reel, which is a super fast reel. But yeah, it's just, you guys can flip through and look at this article and see all the top lures and look at how much Marty has written and as he interviewed these guys and the cool photos they all got for us of their setups and the rigs. That's pretty impressive. Jeff Narrison came down from Minnesota and had a great event, finishing fourth. I had a father and son here, Richard White and Richard White III, Blake Abbey. So great event. Russ Snyder's finished in the top. I think he was like 7th place. He shows a cool setup he had going on with that Gilly bait. Tim Isaacs, you know, big national name.
Yep.
So, there's Richard White III and the part of that father and son. We had 3 father and sons. It was cool. Brian Neff, former Hobie Tournament of Champions, winner, Brian Nelly, finished 10th. So showing off his baits there. So anyway, that was pretty cool seeing.
I seen that tonight on your website, and I thought that was really cool because I'm doing some research to kind of make sure I kind of knew what I was talking about when we come on the show, but I didn't know Marty was doing it for y'all. Which Marty's a good friend of mine. I love his passion for the sport. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because I think he's doing Bassmaster too. I think he writes for them.
Yeah. He does that. And Hank, as you can see, Hank Veggie up there here, he does our recap articles, and you can read all about it here. Daryl Harrelson won with 107 inches. So it really showed out what that part of Florida can really, produce. And we got some great drone shots, and we're going to have some more galleries coming up soon. There's one of those fish, the 25 incher. Eric Jackson ended up winning the big bass. And if we scroll down,
25 and a half, didn't he?
Yeah, 25 and a half. But there's Daryl with his cross kick century belt there. And Russ.
Now, everybody, I reached out to Daryl, but he said the podcast thing really ain't his deal. So he didn't want to, so he said he appreciated it. So I tried to get him on there to tell, his deal. So I told him I appreciated his honesty. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, exactly. You got to appreciate that. There's EJ with his Big Bass Bling Award for getting that 25 and a half. Cool. And John Dalton, speaking of John Dalton, he won the micro bag division. He got the very first micro belt, which we're going to actually get a belt on that.
That's kind of fitting, isn't it, for John to catch the micro bag?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he targets that division quite a bit. He's smart. He knows how to win money when he's not doing good in the biggest five. And we raise money for autism through the Autism Anglers organization, as you can see there.
And the micro bag was 16 and a quarter is what it said on your website. So it was
for 2 inches. He only caught 2 fish. Yeah, it was hard to catch. Like, people could not catch a fish that was they couldn't catch a fish that was really under 10, which is what you need for the micro bag. Because if you think about it, Steven, fishing in Florida spawn like right now, and we were so February is when this event was. That's when they were spawning. Whether they spawned in December, January, February, March, or April, it doesn't matter. Even if they spawned in December, you're not catching. They're not big enough to even catch yet. You know what I mean? They're like 2-3 inches. Yeah. So, and you need a 5-inch minimum for the micro bag. It's got to be 5 to 10, 5 to 9.75. So once it gets to double digits, it goes in the biggest 5. So anyway, it was a challenge to catch a fish under 10 inches because you're catching a fish that was spawned last December, January, February, or March, right? Well, in Florida, by the time they have that much time to grow a year, they're not going to be 10 inches anymore. They're going to be over that. They're going to be under 10. So John was able to find a way to catch a couple that were under, which was certainly a challenge. So he must have found some fish somewhere that just were a little on the smaller side. They happened to also get spawned maybe in an April spawn, because some still spawn later, and just hadn't quite gotten to 10. So it was a fun event, man. We loved it down there. Can't wait to go back.
I guess, is everybody, I know it's your second season or whatever. And I guess if those who may be listening to this for the first time that don't know about it, tell your 3 different divisions that you do have. I believe, you got 3 divisions that you can sign up for to kind of give them an idea that, they don't have to come down and just compete against hammers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's really, really even is kind of 4 in a way, but you've got the individual division, which is just, the, individuals, right? You competing solo, and then you got the team division that's 2-man, which is just in the solo division, by the way, it's $175 to enter. So it's a nice little chunk, but it's not some big high end national either. But it's enough to where the pot ends up being pretty decent. You know what I mean? At the end. So, but then you got the team division, the 2-man team division, and that is $75 a piece. So it's $150 total, but just $75 a piece. Yeah. And that's not bad. And of course you could enter both simultaneously or just one or the other. And then you can enter the micro bag, which is just $25. The one that John won, just $25, and that's it. So, and then the other division I said is kind of like, there's another one is the high school division, but that's really built. It's kind of part of the individual division, but we just pull out those top high school anglers. Anyone actually 18 and under gets pulled out and awarded on stage. And Josiah Bahari, he actually won that event from up here in Ohio where I live. He drove down there, and with his mom and his grandparents lived down there, and it kind of worked out perfect. And he fished and caught his personal best, and we just posted a video of him on Instagram today catching that personal best. So he's doing the right thing by filming with GoPro, and captured it. So that was pretty cool to have that memory. And there were about 5 or 6 personal bests that were caught during that event, if not more than that, really. But that's just what we know of. So it was a really, really good event. And we're doing a cool thing this year called the GoPro guarantee bonus. So basically, if we get 125 anglers at a tournament, which isn't really that many when you think about it, we're giving away $10,000 to the winner if they just film with a GoPro any year, any model, doesn't matter, as long as it's a GoPro brand. We're going to give that winner $10,000, even if the payout should have been $6,000 or whatever it would be for 125 people paying $175. So that's pretty cool. And then we also have the first 50 anglers get a gift bag that's worth $100 of our sponsors' products. So you got a lot of cool stuff here, like from Naqua. Here we go. Let me pull out some stuff that's to my side that I can just grab. Like here's a cool thing from Finman, right? So you ever seen these from Finman? They're really cool. They go on your rod, and they're just basically like a hook keeper. Yep. But you can snip. It can snip your line. It can slice your line. It can stow your hooks. It does everything so well, and you can adjust it. You can see there it talks about what all it can do. You can adjust it wherever you want. Because how often are you not frustrated that where your hook keeper is on your rod, it's like it's never in the right spot you want it for whatever it is you're hooking. Right. And this you can adjust it yourself. And like I said, you can snip your line with it. It's got the cutter. You can slice it. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Naqua, and they got their awesome quad cable here, which is cool. A lot of good stuff like this. It's like quality good stuff comes in that gift bag, and discounts to, like Dark Horse Tackle and other brands. Here's the Naqua Power Bonus, by the way. Another way to earn cool stuff. So lots of cool contingency programs and bonuses and ways to earn.
Is that the first 50 to sign up, get that gift bag?
First 50 in the individual division. And it's pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on with the series. As you can see, we got, fun awards, the Big Bass Bling, the Cross Kick Century Belt, if you get over 100 inches like Daryl did. And we just have fun with it. It's a Thursday opening ceremonies. And then Friday we have typically, I say typically because this next one in Texas is just a one-day shootout. So it doesn't follow the pattern I'm about to explain. But Thursday, we can get into that. That's the next one. But Thursday's opening ceremonies. Friday, we got to, you can take it easy and you can hang out Thursday as long as you want at opening ceremonies, having food and drinks and having fun and fellowship, because you don't have to be up early the next day. You can't practice fish anymore. It's over, on Thursday practices. So we have a Bass U brunch where, sponsored by Bass University. We'll bring a guest speaker up there to speak on some interesting topic. Could be a pro angler, could be myself. Last year we had a lot of Jeff Little. We had, Christine Fisher did some. We've got fisheries biologists that'll speak. So you'll learn a lot at those, and it's just kind of fun fellowship. Take it easy. One last chance to learn something about maybe the area that can help you in the tournament. And then you start the tournament on Friday afternoon at 3, fishing from 3 to 7. And then you fish again on Saturday from, morning to 3 p.m. Yeah. And it's just 5 fish total, So it gives you a chance, if you make a mistake on Friday, go to a wrong spot, have a bad day, things just don't go right in that 4-hour session, to fix that error or correct it and make a better decision for Saturday. And it's just 5 fish. You can still win the entire event just fishing Saturday. If you skunk.
So that's cool. Even if something would happen, you couldn't make it there on Friday. You could fly in there on Saturday and get your 5 fish and still come out a winner. People
do that all the time. They just fish Saturday. I mean, they would of course love to have Friday also, but at the same time, there's a cool Day 2 Dark Horse award that's presented by Dark Horse Tackle, and they give one of their, I think they give like several months, if not like 6 months or so, of a subscription to their tackle box. And the Day 2 Dark Horse is the person who moves up the most places from Friday to Saturday. So if you didn't fish it all Friday, obviously you're going to be tied for last. Right. Come back and win, or now the winner of that event, for example, Daryl Harrison, he either had like no fish or just 1 16-incher on Friday. I can't remember, but he won the Day 2 Dark Horse prize on top of all that he won. So, and he won like
Yeah.
$4,500 worth of stuff. I mean, 4,000 in cash. And again, you're talking, what is it, like 60 something people in that individual division. So
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
payout for,
Right.
in cash and prizes for, that entry fee. So that was good for him. So I was happy for him.
And you that are listening, I mean, that's great to call it the dark horse, because if y'all didn't know that, that meant underdog. So, I
Exactly.
mean, that's cool. That's cool how they're
Exactly.
doing.
Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. You guys should come check it out. It's catching on. People are starting to get it. We encourage the filming with any action camera. It doesn't matter if it's a GoPro. We put the videos or any ones we can get quick enough into the awards presentation, of the winners at our theater, and we hold our awards presentations at theaters just for that reason, to give it a special feel,
Yeah.
a true stage for you guys to stand on. And it's kind of cool exploring these little downtowns of these sort of medium-sized towns we go to, small, medium-sized towns, and these different cool venues we get to hang out and see these revitalized downtown areas. If that's where we are, we've done it at different places before, like a bowling alley in Wisconsin, and we have some new different kind of venues coming up as well. But usually it's a theater, just to kind of keep it consistent and get some air conditioning and concessions and all that.
Yeah. Well, that was one of my questions. How much time are you spending trying to find these theaters or special places to, kind of hold them events? I mean, that's got to take some time to figure that out,
Yeah, a little bit of time for sure. I mean, it starts with the fishery though first, so that narrows it down pretty
Gotcha.
quick and easy. So you find some good areas that have good fishing, and I've been around and done this a long time. Fishing for a living and fishing in general, of course, my whole life. But
Yeah.
For full time, since 2009, and before that I was just single. So what do you think I was doing? Just traveling the whole Southeast where I live, fishing everywhere. I mean, didn't meet my wife till I was 35. So I have her to thank for, me being able to spend so much time in the water and learn all that I've learned, which obviously has helped me in the Kayak Adventure series and also fishing some tournaments of my own. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But you just got to start with the fishing, man. And if it's good there, you just literally have to Google theater. You know what I'm saying? And then they pop up and you look at them and you see which ones look cool. And you kind of look and see, because we have this rule. All of our rules are we have these standards. That way no one can complain or whine and complain and say, well, at this tournament, your boundary was this far away. Now it's that far away. And we keep you guys, an hour away from that theater as Google Maps driving time.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. Because we just want you guys to get back in time for the festival. We hold a festival before the awards in the theater. It's a very family friendly, food trucks and some yard games maybe. Usually everyone's too whipped to even play the yard games. I'll be honest. We put them out there, but nobody ever really plays them because they're so tired of from the fishing. But food trucks, music. We have sponsors that show up there. It's a lot of fun. Then we go to the awards, but it's an hour. So when we announce a new venue or where we're going, like we've already announced some of our 2026 venues, right? 2 of them, including our Broodstock finale. And you already know, okay, it's at this city, and now you can start looking an hour away. So that's what we keep them within an hour. But it's not too tough. But I look and I try to see, well, what waters would be in play if it's this theater or that theater, you know what I mean? Like in that area where the good fishing is. And I try to get as much good water and balance as I can for everybody. And they're all different styles. We have a hashtag called Choose Your Adventure, and it's really all about that at the Kayak Adventure series. If you love to, live scope and dual micro anchor power poles, or, any electronics you want to use, it doesn't matter. Obviously motors, if you want to do all that stuff out in the main lake, on a big lake, we usually have lakes in play, big lakes in play. And then we have some medium and small ones in play. And then we have rivers and creeks. So you really get to sort of choose your own adventure, because a lot of people do just like to take a few rods and, just hop in a creek. What really kayak fishing, what got me into kayak fishing is that sort of just simplicity. So they can truly compete. And Josiah catching that bass, by the way, we could show that video from our Instagram. He, that's kind of, he just paddles, that's it. He just paddles. So our format for high school division and anyone who's just a simple kayak angler, because you can
I didn't know about the high school event, so I was going to ask you about that. I didn't know about that. Yeah.
Anyone who's like that, who may not have the money for all that technology, right?
Yeah.
Well, they can easily still do well and compete because you can launch from any public access point. You're allowed to portage and wade fish if you stay tethered, portage over, anything obstacle that you don't feel safe, going over. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool format, and it gives everyone a chance. You know what I mean? So whether you are the offshore electronics type angler, that you got a great advantage having all those, the motor and all that stuff, all the technology. That's a huge advantage to finding fish and catching them. Or you're just a simple like this reel here that I can click. Let me click share on my screen. We'll watch it. You got to see it. It's so cool. The emotion is there. Here we go. Share.
Yeah. I'll share it here.
Can you get the audio here?
Yeah.
Good shot.
It's on there. Yep.
Shot. Oh my gosh. Shot.
Yeah. He's excited.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's my TV.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. No way.
I love it.
What is
I
it,
love
Sean? Dude, that's a 67 pounder, I bet.
6 pounds.
Oh my gosh. Yo, you see this? Oh my gosh. 5.96.
Wow.
Let's thank you, Jesus. The Lord provided this fish. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen. That's good.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
And he, yeah, absolutely. Hey, speaking of, while we have this pulled up, I could actually click on this.
Yep.
If you are interested in a GoPro and you want to capture those memories and of course be qualified for the GoPro guarantee, $10,000 guarantee, or $7,500 depending on which event it is. If it's 10 or 75, now's a good time to buy, because if you're going to fish a Kayak Adventure Series event anyway, and you're in the market for a new GoPro or some accessories, as you can see there, guys, on that graphic, all you got to do is go to the kayakadventureseries.com, the backslash special offers. If you get a Hero 13 Black or a Max 360 by using one of the links there, and you can get 10% off by putting in the KAS 10 code, then we're going to give you $100 off a KAS entry fee for 2025. That's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Which
That's
is a
good.
free entry fee to the team division, because, like I said, the team division is only $75. So actually, it could enter you into the team and the micro bag, both those divisions. And
That's awesome.
and so it knocks off that, and it only lasts till March 8th. But if you just want to buy the Hero 4K, the $180, $100, $200 one, or $100 worth of accessories, then I'll give you $50 off an entry fee. It's super easy. You can go check it out on the KAS website, how to qualify for that. And some people are already doing it, so that's cool. They're getting their GoPros and gonna have some incredible memories like that, and help keep our sport just validated by getting all those catches on camera. No drama, or less, I should say, much less drama could get creep in to where that dominates the news cycle, where it should be more about moments like Josiah right there, catching that PB, 16 years old. Somebody out there, like Jake said earlier on our live stream earlier today, is like, oh, whatever, a 6 pounder, who cares? 5, dude.
Oh, wow.
16 years old. And, a lot of people, like even Jake said, like he'd never caught a fish that big at 16. So just kind of getting started into it, doing it all by himself, all the way down to Florida from Ohio. He's never fished there.
Yeah.
That's why I started this. I don't care, how many people we get in these events, between last year and this year, or, obviously we want to see more people enjoying it.
Right.
But I just know if we just set our focus on creating the best experience for the anglers, and then people are going to eventually figure out it's a fun series to fish, whether, you're going to win a lot of prizes, cash, money, of course, that's all part of it, but it's just fun experience. No matter if you lose, you still walk away and you leave the weekend or the week at each of these locations, which we very like with fine tooth comb. If you want to just comb through the best fisheries in the country, we take you guys to the best areas. You're going to have a blast. And of course, just all the other extracurricular stuff we have going on that gives you a chance to fellowship. So when you do see some of these big names, like we saw Russ Snyder's and Ryan Nelly, the former TOC champion, Christine, like I said, Josh Strinko, Jeff Little, any big names that come and fish these events, you're going to have a chance to actually fellowship with them and maybe learn something from them, because there's this built-in time. And we made it start on Friday intentionally. It's easier for people to take Friday off work than it is Monday. And at a big national tournament, if you're gone 2 days and you traveled 12 hours or 7 hours or whatever, you just you just can't get back in time for a Monday morning work anyway. You gotta pretty much take off Monday to even just recover. If you drove all the way through the night and got in at 3 a.m.,
Right.
it's just not as a fun of experience for whatever. So, and I know it probably keeps some people from fishing the tournaments, right? But like we just talked about, you don't have to fish Friday. It's just 5 fish over the 2 days, so you don't have to fish Friday. You can still just fish Saturday. So it lets us be able to celebrate and fellowship all throughout the night Saturday as long as we want to after the event, and drive home all on Sunday. We have all that day to get home or go fishing again if you live close enough.
Right.
Just a little bit more of that area.
I'm excited about it. I thought I was going to get to make the South Boston one, but I committed to doing the TKS this year with a guy. So there's one that weekend. But
I know, man.
I
know.
I mean, so I was kind of bummed out about that one because I was already looking forward to that. But my daughter lives in Ashland, Ohio.
Okay.
So I've picked out the lake. So I'm going to definitely do the Ohio one. So I'm going to be there for the Springfield one. So
hey, we'll see you there, man. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I guess there's a place called Alm Creek Lake. I think it is Alm Creek Lake or something like that. So it's an hour from our house. So I mean, I can't beat that. So I'm
perfect. As long as it's it's one of our core bodies of water is listed for that event, then you're good. Alum. You're talking about Alum Creek.
Yeah, Alum. That's
Alum
it.
Creek.
I didn't know how to pronounce it. So,
Alum.
Yeah.
There's that one there. So they pull some big ones out of there. I mean, a lot of those Ohio lakes there in bounds, if people catch good ones out of them for sure. So it's going to be a battle. I think everyone there is kind of trying to figure out, what's going to win. You could certainly catch probably a little bit longer largemouth than you could a smallmouth, but smallmouth seem to be a little bit easier to get to bite. The smallmouth are in the rivers a little bit more. You can catch them some in the lakes, but mostly in the rivers. So it's going to be a little bit of a battle because the lakes are still going to be fishing really good. That time of the year, the fish are just coming off beds in Ohio, so they're going to be feeding up post spawn. And of course, in a link tournament, you don't care. They don't weigh as much as they did.
That's right. That's exactly
4 weeks before, 3 weeks or whatever. So they're going to be feeding pretty good in the lakes. And there's some big ones in the lakes. You could probably catch 21, 22, in 22 up to maybe 23 inches, I guess. In some of these lakes, they've got them. And then smallmouth are going to top out, around 20, 18, 19, 20. So do you risk, that's where that Friday afternoon is kind of cool. You get an afternoon bite. Yeah. You get 4 hours on a weekday that isn't as crowded from the locals. And maybe you say, maybe I'll try a lake in the afternoon on that Friday. And then maybe I'll try a river on Saturday or vice versa. You get to mix it up. So it's kind of a cool format. People are loving it.
I'm intrigued about the whole ordeal of it. I mean, I want to try to get a part of all of it just to kind of get the whole experience. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm excited. I've decided to take an extra day vacation or whatever to stay home, with the daughter and the grandbabies. So so we're excited.
Yeah, buddy.
Marty, it's good to have you on here. We was just talking about a minute ago.
We showed off your article, Marty. We did. It was a good article for sure. So
kind of explain to everybody that's listening why the Texas one's just a 1 day shootout. Kind of explain that. I noticed that too.
So basically what happened is, we had our event and then there was another event that had to be scheduled that they couldn't really get around scheduling another time. It was the Texas Bass Nation and East Texas and North Texas clubs, like all one big event on Lake Caddo on the same March 29th date that we had. But really this could have worked out better. I mean, we wanted to try to conflict from them. And our tourism folks over there at Paris, Texas, where the Paris Reel Fest is going to happen for us, they were fine with moving it and trying to let's move it to the same weekend as the Classic, but do it on Sunday. Because if you think about it, people that are coming into town for the Bassmaster Championship, like I am, we're getting there like March 14th, 15th. I'm sure not many people are getting there much later than that. Maybe the 16th. They probably have at least 2 days of practice because that tournament is not a weekend tournament. It's a Wednesday, Thursday. So your practice is, people are probably getting there. I don't know when they're getting there, 12th, 13th, even earlier. I'm probably not going to get there to the 15th and the night of the 15th. So I'll have a couple days, I guess. But anyway, think about it. If you're getting there on the 13th, 14th, 15th of March, there's no way you're going to be able to stay all the way through the 29th. Who's got vacation to just sit there in Texas from March 15th to March 29th and get home on the 30th? Nobody. So it probably is going to work out just the same, if not better anyway, because now the folks who are fishing the Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship, which is actually on Lake Fork, which is only an hour from our event in Paris, Texas. So we're right down the road. So when they finish that event, they can move up to some lodging or even keep their same lodging on Lake Fork if they want. It's not, like I said, it's an hour away from the town of Paris, but from the closest eligible waters, they're even closer than that. Although I know a lot of people are going to fish that new Lake Bodart, but which is getting all the rage right now, right? So, but either way, it's not far at all from Fork. So they could just go from there straight to our event and fish the championship ends on Thursday, so they can fish Friday and Saturday to practice and then roll into the tournament one day on Sunday. But if for some reason they want to go to the Classic 2.5 hours to the west in Fort Worth, they can do that on Friday and support the kayak anglers on the stage. Hopefully I'll be there. Who knows? I was there last year, obviously, but hopefully I'll be there again. Yeah. And I may have to be there anyway for on stage for handing. I don't know if the AOI hands off the trophy or the previous champion or I don't know, but either way, I'll be at the Classic Expo on Friday for sponsors and whatnot. So I got to be there for that. But if you want to go experience the Classic, you roll over there on Friday, spend as long as you want there, maybe half day or whole day walking the Expo, and then go practice on Saturday somewhere, and then do the one-day shootout on Sunday. And then you don't have to wait a whole another week, you know what I mean, or even longer than a week to fish the tournament when it was going to be on the 29th. But if for some reason you can, or you're local in Texas, you got 3 incredible opportunities from the championship to the Kayak Adventure Series Paris Reel Fest on the 23rd on that Sunday, and then that next tournament on the 29th, I think, or 30th, whatever it is of March for that tournament on Caddo. So for the Texas Bass Nation. So that's 3 huge events all right there in a row in one spot. So I'm thinking that, and even if you're not qualified for the championship for the Bassmaster tournament, and you're just a kayak angler that lives close enough and you want to come experience the Classic, that's even better, because then you get to go, maybe you pre-fish for the Kayak Adventure Series on whatever, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, go to the Classic on Friday, experience the Classic and the Expo on Friday, and then go back and maybe practice one more day on Saturday, and then boom, roll right into that one-day shootout and hopefully win, $10,000 if we can get enough people there to hit that number, that 125 number. So who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
But that's why we moved it, to make it easier logistically for everyone. And we're actually still going to stream the Bassmaster Classic on the big screen in the theater. So we're still going to be a part of that crowning moment. We already got it up on, our computers plugged in for our presentation anyway. We're just going to move over to the Bassmaster tab, right? And then right when that Super 6 or the final, I guess the final 2 or whatever it is, we'll just show that. That way we can at least still all watch it and see what's going on, since we've all probably are going to be following it, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. So that explains that. And Marty will be there. It's going to be cool. Marty Hughes will be there. And
Marty made it this year. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep. At the Paris Reel Fest and the championship. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be fun, man.
What's the best feedback have you got yet from anybody from who came to maybe a first timer or whatever, but what's the best feedback that's kind of give you that, I'm glad I done this,
Probably just the fact that it's pretty laid back. If you're a beginner or intermediate angler, it's great for you guys, especially if you're trying to eventually get to that next level. Maybe you want to dabble in some national Bassmaster Kayak Series tournaments and stuff like that. The entry fee's not as much. You could obviously do the team division, and if you think about it, you only have to wake up really early one time, for that Saturday morning. And people do appreciate that fact. They're like, you know what, this Friday is cool. I get to fish the afternoon. I get to fish a weekday. There's not too many bass boats all over everything yet.
Right.
And I only have to wake up early one day, because if you go and you fish the high level stuff that I love to fish, you can have fun and enjoyment in different ways. Right. And to me, I do love and enjoy the highest, most intense competition and pressure of trying to beat these other just national hammers that we have. Right. That's fun. It might not feel like we're having fun when we're all like tense and stressed out, and I'm like spinning out the night before the tournament, which is always the case. Trust me, even though I've got trophies behind me, anyone who stays with me knows I'm like spinning out, just thinking like about every decision that I'm about to make tomorrow, and if I'm making the right one or not, if I should have made that or whatever. Anyway, but it's just the laid backness of the Kayak Adventure Series is what they've enjoyed the most about it, and that they get to learn and kind of get their feet wet and explore and adventure new places. Because if you're going to fish national trails, you have to learn how to break down water, and you have to also learn how to go fish different kinds of water and different species of black bass. And this series will let you do that without all that pressure. Because again, Bassmaster Kayak Series, you're usually there. Most anglers are there.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, 2, 3, 4 days of practice, if not
Yep.
more for a lot of them. And then they're up at those days of practice. They're up at the crack of dawn. They're out,
Yep.
or actually on the water, or spend all day there. So the just the lower stress and less pressure for some people, just it suits them a little bit better, at least at the beginning stages when they get into this of the KAS. They don't feel like they gotta, be up so early, at least on the tournament days. You don't have to, just one day, but on
Yeah.
practice, they probably can do whatever they want, of course. But yeah, that's probably the best feedback is the fellowship time we've got built into it, and I think also the venues that we go to in the theaters and how they can tell how much money in it we've invested in them,
Yeah.
and that the sponsors are investing in us to invest in them. And then they're like, wow, this is really, I feel truly special. The trophies made by Catch are super nice. They're incredible.
Oh yeah,
The
them are
extra
great
trophies to do with the
trophies.
big bass bling stuff that's kind of silly, but and the cross kick century belt and the micro belt, it's all, you're kind of walking away with something fun. Most people have these cool, I don't know if I got one here, these cool medallions that you get if you're on the top. We pay out 15%, top 15%. So it's not 10%.
Yeah.
15%, so it's a little easier to get a check. And of course, that does mean, the lower checks aren't as much, but anyway, they like that. And then we hand out the checks on the stage. So that's nice. People have made comments about that being really cool. They like that. Now we post date them for Monday because protest period ends on, Sunday night. So kind of post date them for Monday. But anyway, those are a few things that people have said they've enjoyed. And the Bass U Brunch has been another one that they've definitely commented on. They've learned a lot from some of the speakers at the Bass U Brunch. So that'd be another one that a lot of too on Friday.
You've had some good people there too. I mean, like Christine, and I think
Gene
you've had
Jensen.
some.
Speaking of the Team Kayak Series, Gene spoke.
Gene,
he's a biologist. We've had some good ones, man. We really have. So we're gonna have some more great ones this year. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I got to get on a ball about getting some of the other ones, but I'm pretty sure we'll get some. Maybe like an Elite Series Pro or Major League Fishing Pro.
Mhm.
There at some point. I'm friends with a lot of them, trying to work on one actually for Texas right now, but it's tricky because everyone's at the Classic, and that's a 2.5 hour drive, back up for our check-in on Saturday for them just drive back 2.5 hours. But we'll see if I can convince one of them to do it.
I got to sucker somebody into do it. Yeah. I mean, I was looking there too. I kind of noticed on the 4-to-1, it looks like that, I know you showed a lot of people who traveled to be part of the 4-to-1, but I got to looking at a lot of those people in there. But it looks like you're grabbing a lot of the local people into those tournaments, by doing this, and that's a good thing. I mean, it's good to have people coming out, but you're actually bringing something to an area that people who probably wouldn't normally go participate in a tournament, like you said, Bassmaster or, some of these other ones, but you're pulling them in there to something to kind of get them, a little bit acclimated to tournament fishing, which I think you got to feel pretty good about. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%. A lot of people are fishing these events. So Derek, the guy that caught that, we showed that 25 1/4 inch fish. He had it on our recap article. He had it on scale 913. Him and several other people, it was their very first tournament, like they fished ever, kayak tournament. So what that tells me is this is working in the sense of if you're trying to grow the sport, you got to do something that, you have to have different stages and levels for people to participate, right? No one just starts off in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like you got to start at peewee, football, and then you move your way up, middle school and whatever, high school and college. So you got to have every level. So you got a lot of, local and regional trails that are awesome. And then maybe of this like first step that people get their feet into, and then they kind of get the hang of that and get a little confidence and learn some stuff there. And then they can branch out in something, like this. But that's what excites me the most is that sponsors, I hope, are noticing that, man, this is something worth investing in because it's actually growing the sport and getting new people into it that really were never they just need that step, and maybe they move up and go to the next level. And maybe they don't, but either way, they're excited about it. It gets them involved and gets them, obviously the sponsors care about it. They're spending money in the industry, and the anglers don't care either, because they're having a good time and, enjoying God's creation, catching huge fish and making memories with friends. So it's like nobody loses, you know what I mean? Like in that, no one loses.
Yeah, no. And congratulations to you. I mean, I don't know how long that you thought about it, or, it started, bouncing around in your head and all that stuff, but it's really intriguing. I'll be honest with you. I'm excited about, and hope everything works out to come there to Ohio, because I just think it's cool. It's a break away from the tournament scene, you know what I'm saying, that we're all used to, maybe a little bit lighter, you know what I mean? Kind of, because I did all the Bassmasters last year, and of course, just to see how I do, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just telling you, talk about pressure. I mean, it's pressure. You got hammers like you and all the hammers across the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Serious stuff, man. It is. Yeah,
it is.
It's serious. It's fun, but it definitely serious. And like you said, lower pressure. And one thing that I think also that people have mentioned that they do like about the series is that the rules where you can, like, wade fish on a tether, you can access anywhere publicly, you can portage over stuff, that you can do things that a lot of folks, we needed a series that lets you, do some of that stuff too. You know what I mean? You need like different formats. So it was kind of nice. So a lot of people that fish that style, they have enjoyed that, and they have mentioned that. So that's another thing. If I had to pick a few of them, which I kind of mentioned, several there when I answered your question, but that was another thing that people have enjoyed about it. They don't feel like, am I breaking a rule? Like, am I doing something like there? Hey, if you're just launching from somewhere that's public property, and and if you get out and wade, you're good. Just as long as you stay tethered when you fish, you can get out and portage and wade fish, stuff like that. So I think that's another big one that people have liked about it. And I see Hank there. What's up, Hank? That's cool. We got.
I was getting ready to say, when you got done, say hello, Hank. Hank's been on here before too. He's one of the legends there of the sport, So
yeah, he is, man. Hank, you gotta give Steven here a hard time, dude. So he's gonna be missing our event that's right there in your backyard, man. So missing our South Boston Bassathon, but
I'll be honest with you. So I struggled during the bat. I didn't, be honest with you, at the end of the day, I will tell everybody that this is listening. I mean, I spent a little money, I'm not nowhere a good fisherman, but I wanted the experience last year, the Bassmaster. So I did the whole series, and, I ended up either 168 or something like that in the country, and, I felt okay with that, because, some of the best, I had 600 anglers, that competed, and, I had some pretty bad tournaments, and, but at the end of the day, this year I thought, well, me and another guy didn't do the best. We decided to team up and see this team series where, it's the best 10 fish, kind of like yours is, best 5 fish. And, we wanted to give it a shot and see if we could just kind of, I think a lot of people don't understand, and give you guys the credit that's won some of these big events, to go in and break down a lake that you haven't ever been to in a couple of days and try to win a tournament is hard. I don't care what anybody says. It's hard.
It's hard. I mean? Yeah. And below me here, we haven't even talked about is, you got on below my name there, he's Bassmaster Kayak Havasu champion. Yeah. And that's a good example, dude. Like going to a lake that you've never been on, all the way across the country, and trying to win. Like, dude, that is not easy. Not at all. And obviously I've done this a long time, so I've got, a little bit of a clue about how to, but even before I get there, how to dissect the fishery. And of course, for me, it's also easy because my style eliminates a lot of the water already. I'm like, I'm not even going to worry about any of the main lake stuff, offshore stuff. I'm going to go and find the shallow fish that I love to target in a kayak, and why I got a kayak. So anyway, but to your point, it's super hard. You're not kidding. It's very hard. So, but after enough time and experience, you continue. And like you said, you kind of have to take your licks sometimes at the beginning. And that's where the Kayak Adventure series helps you lessen the pain.
That's
a little bit financially at least lessen, maybe you buy some raffle tickets and win a kayak,
There you go.
for
That's
autism or
it.
something. You can still come out a winner. You get the $100 gift bag. You spent
That's right.
175, but you got $100 worth of stuff. So you feel, okay,
That's
you
it.
had a good time. You got to look at it like entering a rec basketball league. Like my buddy Ken Morris always looked at tournaments. He's like, I'm not the best, but I'm spending that money for a good time the same way I spent it I don't get anything out of a rec basketball league other than I run around and get exercise and have fun. And at the end of it, I don't get anything, but I paid $250 or whatever it was, for the season. And for tournament anglers, to help your mindset, some people need to look at it like that. If nothing else, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to learn something that's going to help me in the future win some money in a tournament, because I've said this before on podcasts, all the tournaments, and even really you can go deeper, all of life, but really stick to tournaments. All the tournaments are one big giant tournament. No one ever thinks about it like that. You're literally learning. If you take something you learn in a tournament, maybe it costs you a fish or whatever, like you made a mistake. As long as you don't repeat that same mistake and you make a better decision based off of what happened that time, you didn't lose in that tournament as much as you thought you lost. You actually became a winner because it helped you win money down the road, by making the better decision. So don't feel so defeated if you don't have the best tournaments. Just learn from it, and then it was worth it.
So, well, and hey, all of us donators, I mean, there wouldn't be a series if we're not contributing. We have to contribute.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's all part of it. You're supporting the passion that you like. You know what I mean? So, hey, go out there and spend a little and have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, but one other thing I wanted to ask you about is if you can talk about it a little bit. Talk a little bit about this new Crescent that's coming out. If you can talk about it. I know you was doing some.
Oh yeah.
Tell the people that you're a part of Crescent or whatever, and
sure.
Give them a lowdown what's going on. I'm kind of excited about it. You teased it the other night on a podcast I listened to. So I want to kind of hear a little bit more about it.
Good, man. It's a good boat. It's it's going to be a little on the smaller side than the boat I got out now, the Sholey. I'll say that much. And then I've seen some production ones already kind of molded, so I know we're getting close. That means we're starting to build up some inventory. And as we just build it up and get the build out dialed in, because now we got all these assembly pieces and all the components. You got to source all that stuff and make sure you're ready with enough of them to just start building them, getting them out there. So we're not far. I mean, I would say we're a month, later this month or next month at some. I don't think we'll be out of April without seeing this boat. You know what I mean?
Have you had it out on the water yet?
I can't really talk about too much because I would give something away. But I'll tell you right now, I've not had it on the water, but in a way, I kind of have had it on the water.
I got you.
Hard to explain, but anyway, it's a good boat. It's going to be.
Now I know Crescent's always more towards, the paddle type, river or whatever. Is this going to be kind of a hybrid, or is it going to be, is it more kind of towards, because I've always been waiting for Crescent to kind of go, especially with you doing tournaments. And I know you're the river guy, but are they going to try to make something more for the lake kind of guys? You know what I mean? To get in that realm.
Yeah. So the Sholey, it gets a little bit typecast as this river boat, and shoal bass live in rivers, and I'm a river angler. We definitely have a lot of content and marketing on rivers with it. But so many times, even lately, I think 2 days ago, someone called me 2 or 3 days ago, another podcast host or former one. And he was like, man, I got this other boat. I'm not going to say the brand, but it was like, it's just kind of slow and heavy. It doesn't paddle good. And like, I just know Crescents are great paddling boats. They're fast. They're known for, and I want to use a boat. I want a boat on the lake that is not so slow as this boat. And he doesn't, he might get a motor eventually, but doesn't have the money for a motor now. Just wanted something that like moves, man, like fast. So the Sholey is a lot faster than the boat he had, a lot easier to get, transport, everything else. And he said that would be his dream boat. And so my point is the Sholey is a lot better on the lake than people realize, because especially, with paddle, it's faster than most of the boats that are made now. And with a motor, it's a lot faster to get you around the lake than most of the boats that people are using out there, So it's actually a lot better on the lake than we kind of give it credit for. It's really meant to be, pretty darn good on all bodies of water. But the only caveat is, yeah, it turns on a dime because you need that for the river. You can put a motor on a river boat, like let's say if you want to call the Shoalie river boat, then sure, whatever. It just turns
Yeah.
really easy. It paddles good and fast and moves quick with a motor. But once you put that motor on it, the whole thing that people wouldn't like about it on the lake, or a boat that turns on the dime on a lake that's lighter like the Shoalie is, because those heavier boats, when they get blown in the wind, it takes a lot more. They're heavy and they are sinking deeper and they don't turn as well. So they don't get blown like this as quick and easy. But
Yeah.
once you get a motor on there and you're using spot lock and you're keeping it on low and you're moving, it's all irrelevant. Shoalie is better than a lot of the boats out there for lakes
Yeah.
because of that
Yeah.
feature. But then here's the cool thing: take the motor off, get just a paddle in your hands, and on the river, you can turn on a dime again. You can turn it back into that river boat really easily. You can't do the opposite. You can't make a lake boat a river boat. There's no way you can do it. It'll always be heavy. It'll always turn slow.
Right.
It always suck on the river. I'm sorry to say, it's just going to suck on the river. But you can make a good boat like the Shoalie, a boat that's really good on the river, a great lake boat. You really can with motors and stuff we have going on. And
I seen you at Caddo with that. I think it was the Torpedo and the power poles on the back. I thought, man, check him out.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring that. I have a few Shoalies and I have them all rigged up for different purposes, and that one is coming to Lake Fork, dude. The one with those dual power poles.
I was going to ask you if it was.
That's going. I've never fished Lake Fork, so it'll be fun to see how it. Hank says, yeah, I've seen a few anglers paddling Shoalies at lake tournaments. Yeah. I mean, it's a great. I mean, the thing is, it's like if you compare it to other big lake boats that people are just going to paddle them, I mean, the Shoalie's going to be faster. Now, if you get a pedal drive or whatever, it's a different story. But yeah, if you're just looking to paddle, I mean, it's a fast boat for sure. It's a good lake boat too. It just doesn't get enough, I think, publicity as that. But anyway, the new boat will be really, really, there's Marty saying he loves it. I don't know anyone who's ever been in a Shoalie that doesn't love it. The only people who don't love the Shoalie are people that have never taken the time to really understand how you paddling and the physics of kayaking. They don't understand why that boat is so good. They don't even understand the sport well enough from a paddling standpoint in a river to understand why it's so much better for maneuvering and so much easier to maneuver. They don't have enough experience to even understand. They just know when they get in another boat that's super at some demo day where they walk out to the beach and they hop in it and they didn't have to drag it to the water. You know what I mean? They didn't have to put it on their vehicle. They just had to paddle 100 yards and it felt okay. And they could stand up on it easy. They're like, this is great. They don't understand that all these things, the weight and the ability for it not to turn as easy, is all negative things when it comes to a river, for a riverboat. And anyway, but once they eventually learn and understand, then everyone, that knows that is like, dude, the Shoalie is like awesome. It's just this right size. It's like 70, 75 pounds, whatever it is. It's just light enough to still be able to get in and out of your vehicle. If you want to car top it or back of your truck easily, still get it down the bridge embankments and the crazy, trails and wild access points, right? That aren't your normal boat ramp. You starting to get in that like 85, 90, 100 pound range. And those accesses become,
oh yeah, it's out. Yeah.
Even if you could do it, you tend to not do it. So,
That's right.
the boat, you're like, you look over there at the trail and how the hill you got to go up, and you're like, you got some of the back of your truck is 100 pounds or 90 or whatever, and you're like, nah. And you go to the other ramp, and guess what? You missed on some of the best like unpressured fish possibly. You went to the boat ramp where all the other boats are launching, and if you don't have all the electronics and all the gadgets that they have to help make fishing in lakes a little easier, it's probably gonna be pretty tough there. So anyway, they the Shoalie is definitely a cool boat. I've never heard anyone that was like, I
mean, Shoalie's made a lot of traction for press. It has. I mean,
for sure.
You don't see a lot of bad negativity about it at all. You know what I'm saying? So
there's people that want to stand in it and they don't have the sea legs to do it yet, or they don't understand. Yeah, they don't understand a few things like the way it leans so easy left and right is also for you to be able to like help edge turn it, and which is a whole nother thing, and like paddling skill and maneuver it a lot. That's what helps you be so maneuverable in that boat. It helps save you from hitting that, like seeing the obstacle that's go downstream, turning it fast because it will turn fast, getting on it real quick, and it will move fast when you get on it because it doesn't weigh 100 something pounds. And then you're going to barely clear that your stern's going to barely clear that strainer that you were trying to avoid that you didn't see till the last minute. And then you're in a boat that's heavy and it's slow. It doesn't turn on a dime. You see at the last minute, the exact same situation. And I know they got into it because they're like, oh, I stood in it. It was more stable than the Shoalie, and it was, bigger and wider. And I just felt more comfortable. It's like, no. You just flipped over because you turned and it took forever for you to turn it. It was heavy. You started going and it was slow. And then your stern and your whole like back of your seat and everything caught that strainer. It flipped you over. You lost everything. And then one day you finally realize, oh, well, maybe I've become a better paddler. And you know what I mean? Like riding a bike, you eventually learn how to ride the bike. Like I use that analogy all the time. It's like, okay, you're falling over. You never think you're going to be able to learn how to ride a bike. And then, next thing you know, it's just a week or two later, you're just zipping around like crazy. You never even worry about falling anymore. That's the way you need to approach a demo day if you're a kayak angler looking to get into the smallest, lightest kayak you can, but yet still be able to stand and whatnot. Like if it feels like you're almost like a little like nervous to stand in it at the beginning of a demo day or a little tippy, you're in the right kayak because it's going to feel great.
That's right.
In about a month from then when you've taken it out 5 or 6 times, you're going to be like, oh, I know where the edge points are, the leaning points where it's going to really go. I know where those points are. My body's learned, like kind of learn those points. Like, so that's really the kayak you need to get in. Cause if you get in the one that you're like, oh, it's just so big and stable, you're going to regret it probably because of how heavy it is and how it really becomes a boat. Then you have a trailer for sure. You hardly, put it in the back of your truck. You got a trailer. You're backing it down to every boat ramp where all the other bass boats are launching. And that's fine if that's your style. And that's a lot of people's style. Like the Yak Off Awards that are going on right now. If you guys have checked out those Yak Off Awards, it's my week right now. I'm up. So it's me versus Chad Davidson. He's got the complete opposite style I do.
Yeah, he does.
And that's great. I mean, I joke with Chad that I love that he's fishes different than I do because that's just one less person that's fishing like I do.
Yeah.
I don't want everybody all over, my water anyway, if I can help it. Right. So, but yeah, everyone's different. And some people, if that's what they're looking for is that boat for the lake, then cool. But we were talking more about a lightweight river boat, like a throw and go. I think the new boat that comes out. So you're getting more out of me the more I just keep talking. You're not really doing it. I guess I am. I'm just, it's more of a throw and go.
The only reason I'm trying to, cause I'm wanting to get more of a throw and go. I've been, talking on my YouTube channel about, I want to try to do some more river trips this year, some overnighters, stuff like that. And, I'm a little bit bigger guy. I'm around the 250 mark. So, I'm investigating, trying to figure out which boat I want to go with.
I think the Shoalie's the right size for you, most likely. This new boat really is a throw and go. It's got a very high weight capacity. Haven't said that, but I would consider it like a all water boat.
Gotcha.
But more throw and go all water type than the Shoalie is portrayed as. So there you go.
I got you. So we got a little out of him.
Get some extra. Yeah.
So last question I got on here is, I know you're excited about all your events coming up, but of all the ones on your schedule, which one are you really stoked about?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. Like you're talking about my personal events.
Yeah. Which one are you kind of, either way that you feel like you're really going to get a huge turnout, or you're just going to. I think everybody's going to love this one.
I'll answer it. Yeah, I'll answer it both ways. So for the Kayak Adventure Series, now Marty's already got the answer for the Kayak Adventure Series at St. Cloud, Minnesota. The Upper Mississippi River is it's like it might as well be Mecca for smallmouth anglers. And
yes,
most of the bass world doesn't know this yet because we focus on the St. Lawrence River is that for the bass boat world, and then Lake Ontario in that area they go to. And then the Susquehanna has been that for the kayak anglers up until probably this year when people go up to the Upper Mississippi. And I've never been there, so I don't know, but I just have researched enough about it and know enough people who have, including Josh Trinko, who literally went on the Kayak Adventure Series podcast and said, Josh from Ashegan and Smalley Talk, he said, there is a chance that it will put the people will, I don't know what he said. Something like the Susquehanna will
Put
look
the
like
Susquehanna to shame or
he's
something.
saying seem like the Susquehanna look like trash.
Oh,
And
my
the Susquehanna
Lord.
is like amazing. We all know how
Yeah.
amazing the Susquehanna is. So can you imagine the
Yes.
fact that
I've been there.
even if he's just exaggerating on that statement some, even if it's like, 1.5 times as good, you know what I mean? Or whatever, 50% better. I mean, that's what I meant. 50% better than the Susquehanna. That's like unbelievable because like the Susquehanna is so good on its own. So even if
Yeah.
it's 25% better, that's unbelievable. Just the fact that
Absolutely.
somewhere could be. So we feel like we're going to give out some Century belts. But for me, I'm planning on fishing as many of the Bassmasters as I can. Got the championship coming up, and then I don't know about Dale Hollow if I'll make that next one. Then there's 10 Killer again, and I won there last year, so
Yeah,
I'm going to try to make that one. And I feel like you got to, if you win somewhere, you almost like have to go back. I'll say this. The one I'm probably most looking forward to is I was going to say Lake Fork, but I'm going to change my answer. It's probably Lake Champlain because, dude, Lake Champlain is it's so fun. It's so big and vast. You can spread out. I fished it with, I fished it with Hobie. The first time I went there, I got second place. And then I fished it the next year with KBF, and I swept the whole pro series, and both days, the trail series, Saturday, Sunday, and the total combined with the pro series. It was like I've never had a bad time on Champlain. So I mean, I'm sure it'll happen at some point, or they won't bite like they have, but it is unreal. That lake is really good. So, and it's just good from top to bottom. And this is a little sneaky, and maybe I'll give some stuff away. The Bassmasters and, Bassmaster Elite Series and the Major League Fishing, BPT, whoever, Toyota, they all launch out of, like, most of them launch out of Plattsburgh, further up north. Some tournaments might go out of Burlington. Every once in a while, you get some out of Ticonderoga too. But most of the big ones that we watch are all out of Plattsburgh, which is way up north. And of course, the Elite Series anglers, they don't go drive. No one's driving on a lake that size with that kind of water, like 2.5 hours south in a boat to fish for like a couple hours, just to turn back around and drive 2.5 hours. So you never see coverage of the lower end of that lake because and they're there. The fish are there just like they're in the upper end of the lake. It's a little bit murkier. Yeah. The lower end of the lake has them too. And so anyway, you can catch them all the way up into, Canada and down all the way to the southern end really well. So the fact that, you can spread out, it's just so big and there's got good fish, both largemouth and smallmouth. The weather is unbelievable that time of year. Anytime you get to Champlain in the middle of the summer, you wake up at 3 a.m. No joke. You get up to go get ready to start launching. It's daylight. You're so far north, it's daylight. Yeah. And it's the coolest thing ever. You're just driving, you feel more awake, and it's pretty cool, man. So I'm looking forward to Champlain, but Lake Fork would be a close second because I've never fished it. It's never interested me, but because I've seen it so much on TV, I feel like I've been there, done that. Yeah. And it doesn't really have any major rivers or backwaters really that you can truly get away from the bass boats. Now, there's some areas you can get a little bit away, but not like really get away from the bass boats. And the big, huge fish are all in the main lake anyway. So you don't need to be trying to get away from the bass boat water. You need to be fishing that water. So it's never really intrigued me. So I've never fished a tournament there. Any of the kayak tournaments that have gone there just kind of avoided it. But now I'm kind of forced to fish it. So I'm kind of looking forward to it actually, because I know it's got big fish, and to see how I do on a lake where there's really not really any Drew Gregory sort of stuff to be done, I don't think.
I got you.
So,
well, I'm glad you said Champlain, because I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday because they're so spread out this year for the Bassmasters. Of course, Dale Hollow's in my backyard. It's a few hours away. But I told him, I said, man, I'd love to do that Champlain one. I said, I've always my whole life thought that, heard that's a killer place to fish.
It is. It is killer.
Yeah. So
if you do it, let me know, man. I always get a big house with a bunch of guys. You're welcome to stay with us.
All right. Well, it's my birthday too that weekend. So I thought, well, that might be my birthday present. I might go up there and fish that. So
do it, man. You will not be disappointed. I know Toledo Bend is after that. That's when the Kayak Adventure Series season is over. My season's over. And that's where my grandparents retired. Even like the town, Hemp Hill, Texas, where it's based out of, that's where they retired, right there in that town. So I cannot, I don't know if I'm going to fish that one or not, but I really want to go fish that one because I haven't fished that lake since I was like 12 years old, just with my grandfather and my dad, we went to visit him. So, and that's probably about when he passed away. So that'll be kind of cool if for some reason I'm able to get back there. I've got a great start in the Angler of the Year race, you know what I mean, already.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
planning on
absolutely.
Havasu and having a good, decent finish at, 30 something place or whatever out of the 200 something over there in Kissimmee. So I got a couple good events, and who knows if I'm really in the hunt, I need extra AOY points to have a chance to win, then maybe I'll fish that one. And that could end up being something pretty special just to go back and fish somewhere that, I only fished as a kid. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Hank, I see that there. Maybe me and you
Yeah,
will
Hank.
put some plans together and go up there. That'd be awesome.
You
So
got
we
to,
don't live
man.
far from each other. So yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
that's
cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, Drew, man, I can't thank you enough. I know we've been over here an hour. You've always been a blessing to come on and be part of the show. And of course, we look up to you. You've been great to the sport, and sure love what I see about the series. And any kind of shout outs you want to give, go ahead and give them, and we'll let you get out of here.
No, I think we kind of, I've done this so long, man. I'm pretty good about sneaking that stuff in all throughout the podcast. So
Yeah, I know you did.
we've been shouting out people all
Yeah.
podcast long. So I think we're good. Just go check it out, guys. Go get signed up and be one of those first 50 at all these events. The sooner you get signed up, you get that gift bag, $100 plus. You are a part of building the momentum, and the building the momentum is critical in tournaments, because if you start getting a lot of people there, everyone gets excited. We're going to hit this number. We're going to have a GoPro guarantee payout, and let's just keep building up momentum. And of course, the more people that are there, the more fun we have too. I mean, it's just a bigger party. That's all it is. So I'm excited. So we'll see how it goes this year. And yeah, that's about it, really.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much, Drew. Appreciate it. We'll be rooting for you, man. Thank you,
buddy. See you.
All right. All right. Well, you got to love him. We appreciate Drew and all he's doing for the sport, and get out there and support that. If you look on, go to kayakadventureseries.com there and check him out, and look at see if one of the events coming near you, and get up and get signed up and go out there and support it. So a lot of great prizes, a lot of neat different ways to win something. But I love the fact that it's just a real laid back, and it kind of brings us back to what kayak fishing was all about. So I really appreciate that and his endeavor for that. So, all right, we still got 9 people left on here. So I've got a giveaway to give away. So what we're going to do is, you that are left on here, I could never get the information I wanted off of Instagram to really do the giveaway. So anybody who can name the guest who owns the Council Bluff crankbaits and gets it in the comments the quickest wins the poppers. So whoever gets that in there first will win the poppers. So first one to comment the owner's name, it was on here 2 weeks ago, that owns Council Bluff crankbaits. All right, Mr. Marty Hughes, got it on there. All right, Mr. Marty. So we'll get that. You got it right the second time. You spelled it wrong the first time, so we'll give it to you. Appreciate Marty. Thank you all for being on here tonight. Marty, we'll get that out to you. Mr. Chad Flair will get that out to you. He's giving 3 poppers away, and I know you probably know him. So congratulations to Marty Hughes. Thank you, Marty, for all that you do for the sport as well, doing all the write-ups for Bassmaster and the Kayak Adventure Series, and I think many more things. Go check out his podcast, y'all. He's got a great podcast going on about the history of kayak fishing. You need to check it out. It has been awesome. I've loved every one that I've got to see, and go check him out. And like I always say, you can't harvest them in the house. You got to get up, get outdoors, and have a great time and worship the Creator more than the created.